It was an ordinary night when Lucas realized he was lost. He had been in a relationship for months, and with each passing day, he seemed to move further away from who he really was. He remembered how, when he started everything, he felt confident with his own plans and ideas, but little by little, he gave in. He canceled appointments, changed his routine, left his friends aside, and even his own beliefs began to take a back seat. He was doing everything for her. He thought, it's for love, it's what she wants, it's what will keep me close to her. But in that moment, alone in his room, Lucas realized he had lost more than just himself. He was losing his very essence. Have you ever felt this? Have you ever realized that, in the name of pleasing someone, you were swallowed by a whirlwind of expectations and commitments that were not yours? The fear of losing the person, the fear of being abandoned, or even the simple desire to see the other person happy, can lead you to attitudes that, in the end, only make you lose yourself. This fear, this pain, is the same that many of us experience, but the difference is that we don't need to continue on this path. I'm here to tell you something that could change everything. 6 things you should never do for women. These are behaviors that, when followed, take you away from your own freedom and authenticity. And, worse, the pain of living in this uncertainty turns into a suffocating routine with no return. Stoicism, with its ancient philosophy, teaches you to keep your integrity intact, not to sacrifice what really matters for anything or anyone. And today, I'm going to show you how to apply these principles and take back control of your life, without fear, without doubt, and without losing your identity. Are you ready to take control of your own journey? Before we start talking about the 6 things you should never do for women based on Stoicism, take a quick look. Are you already subscribed to this channel? If not, don't waste time. Here, I will bring you a series of videos like this that will help you improve your relationships, maintain your freedom and autonomy, and live according to Stoic principles. So, if you really want to understand how to put these teachings into practice in a simple and effective way, you already know what to do. Sign up now and activate the bell so you don't miss any content. The price of sacrificing personal freedom is the foundation that supports the essence of who we are. However, many men, when entering into a relationship, give up this freedom in the name of an illusory harmony. It is a mistake that, according to Stoic principles, compromises not only the individual, but also the health of the bond. For the Stoics, personal integrity is non-negotiable. It is what keeps man rooted in his own existence, regardless of external storms. Imagine a man who, to please his partner, starts canceling important commitments with friends or puts aside his favorite hobbies. At first, this may seem like a show of affection, but over time, he begins to feel frustrated, unappreciated, and disconnected from himself. Stoicism teaches us that living to please others is like navigating without a compass. You may even be on a boat, but without direction, any wave can divert you. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic masters, reminds us that we are the guardians of our own freedom. This means that giving in to the control of another, even someone you love, is abandoning command of your own ship. Relationships based on the renunciation of personal autonomy are not sustainable, as they destroy the foundation of mutual respect that should sustain them. When you sacrifice your individuality, you lose the essence that made the other person fall in love with you. In today's context, where social expectations often encourage the idea that you need to shape yourself to your partner, Stoic philosophy offers a powerful alternative. It's not about resisting change or being inflexible, but about preserving your identity and not compromising your core values. After all, what is a relationship without mutual respect and acceptance of the other's uniqueness? An example of this can be seen in the life of Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Even surrounded by political and personal pressures, he did not give up his moments of reflection and philosophical practice. His ability to balance duties as a leader and the need to maintain his personal essence was one of the reasons he is remembered as one of the greatest Stoics of all time. He understood that the sacrifice of freedom is not love, but submission. Genuine love, according to Stoicism, does not require one side to lose its autonomy. It should be an exchange of admiration and support, where both grow together without one dominating the other. Therefore, it is vital that men reflect before compromising their passions, their friendships, or even their beliefs to please a partner. When this happens, frustration and resentment become inevitable, creating fissures in the relationship. Therefore, Stoicism challenges us to find the balance between love and freedom. It is an invitation to be authentic, respect the autonomy of others, and demand the same in return. Remember, preserving your personal freedom is not selfish. It is an act of self-love that, in the end, strengthens any relationship. After all, only free men can truly love. The mistake of neglecting personal growth. Constant evolution is the essence of a meaningful life. However, it is common that, in the name of a relationship, many men put aside their goals, interests, and individual development. This attitude, although it may seem altruistic at first, often leads to resentment and a weakening of the relationship. For the Stoics, personal growth is not only a responsibility to oneself, but also a duty towards the world and the people who are part of it. Imagine a man who gives up his professional ambitions because he believes that his time should be entirely dedicated to his partner. At first, this may seem like an act of dedication, but as time passes, he begins to feel the weight of dissatisfaction. He realizes that, by abandoning his dreams, he has also lost an essential part of who he is. The Stoics teach that self-improvement is not a selfish choice. Rather, it is the basis for making a meaningful contribution to relationships and society. Epictetus once said, "First tell yourself who you want to be, and then act accordingly." This means it's critical to maintain a clear vision of who you want to become, regardless of external circumstances. To neglect this vision, even in the name of someone else, is to betray yourself. When you fail to invest in your growth, not only do you deprive yourself of reaching your potential, but you also prevent those around you from benefiting from the best you can offer. A healthy relationship must be a space where both parties encourage each other to evolve. Think of a man who wants to learn a new language, practice a sport, or deepen his knowledge of philosophy, but feels he doesn't have the support to do so. Stoicism teaches us that this search for improvement is an inalienable duty. Marcus Aurelius, while leading an empire, never abandoned his daily philosophical practice, as he knew that this discipline made him a better leader and human being. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of prioritizing the needs of others over your own. Social media, cultural expectations, and even well-meaning advice can lead us to believe that sacrificing our dreams is an act of love. However, Stoicism warns us, true love does not require us to abandon our essence, but rather to cultivate it. When you invest in yourself, the benefit spreads to everyone around you. A man who is constantly growing inspires those he lives with, including his partner. He is able to bring new ideas, renewed energy, and expanded perspectives to the relationship. So prioritizing self-improvement is not just a wise choice. It is also a show of respect for those you share your life with. Therefore, never neglect your growth in the name of pleasing or meeting other people's expectations. Be a man who chooses to evolve daily, not just for himself, but to enrich every aspect of his existence. After all, as the Stoics remind us, the greatest gift you can give the world is the best version of yourself. The weight of suppressing emotions, ignoring or hiding your emotions, is like trying to contain a wave with your hands. It doesn't disappear. It just returns with more force. Many men, trapped in the mistaken idea that vulnerability is a sign of weakness, end up burying their feelings in the name of a false appearance of strength. However, Stoicism teaches us that dealing constructively with emotions is an act of courage and wisdom. Let's imagine a man who, after an argument with his partner, decides to swallow his frustration. He believes that keeping silent will preserve peace in the relationship, but in reality, this silence creates emotional distance. Over time, this disconnect can turn into an abyss. Stoicism does not preach the absence of feelings, but rather the ability to recognize, understand, and respond to them thoughtfully. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "The remedy for anger is delay." He emphasized the importance of observing emotions before acting, not to suppress them, but to understand them deeply. Repressing anger, fear, or even sadness does not eliminate the problem, just postpone it. When you ignore your feelings, they find dysfunctional ways of manifesting themselves, whether in outbursts of irritation, apathy, or even health problems. True strength lies in facing what you feel, even if it feels uncomfortable. In the context of a relationship, this skill is even more essential. Imagine how much healthier it would be for a couple if they both had the freedom to share their worries, fears, and joys without fear of judgment. This practice not only strengthens the connection, but also promotes mutual growth. The Stoics teach us the art of responding rather than reacting. When you feel hurt or upset, ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Does this feeling reflect reality or a distorted perception? This reflection creates a space for understanding, allowing you to approach conflicts with clarity rather than being driven by impulses. Furthermore, open communication about emotions is a demonstration of respect for others. When you share your feelings honestly and constructively, you invite the other person to do the same. This genuine exchange is the foundation of any solid relationship. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the soul is enriched by recognizing what it feels and finding calm in chaos. Therefore, abandoning the habit of suppressing emotions is not only a healthy choice, but also a necessity for those seeking authentic and enriching relationships. Recognize what you feel, express yourself clearly, and allow your emotions to serve as a guide for more conscious decisions. After all, what makes us truly human is our ability to feel, and wisdom lies in learning to navigate these emotions rather than drowning in them. The loss of independence. The price of neglecting one's essence. Giving up independence in a relationship may seem like a gesture of dedication, but it often results in a loss of internal balance. It is a common mistake, driven by the desire to please or maintain harmony, but which, little by little, erodes self-esteem and creates harmful emotional dependence. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate inner strength as an essential pillar for maintaining healthy and balanced relationships. Imagine a man who, over time, begins to condition his happiness exclusively on his partner's approval. He stops investing in his interests, withdraws from friends, and even adjusts his personality to meet the other person's expectations. The result, he disconnects from himself, becoming vulnerable to frustrations, demands, and a cycle of dissatisfaction. The Stoics, however, offer a different perspective. They believe that true independence is not a rejection of human connections, but the ability to remain steadfast in your virtues and values, even when relating to others. Epictetus said, "If you desire freedom, let no desire enslave you." This means that relying too much on someone else for validation or happiness is giving up your own inner freedom. Cultivating independence requires effort and self-knowledge. This starts with recognizing your passions, goals, and limits. An independent man is one who knows who he is and what he wants, and who seeks a relationship that complements his journey, rather than redirecting it. The metaphor of a tree is helpful here. Firm roots allow branches to expand. Likewise, internal strength provides stability, allowing for more meaningful connections. In everyday life, independence can be demonstrated in several simple ways. Making time for hobbies, continuing to nurture friendships, and prioritizing personal goals are examples of actions that keep your individuality alive. The ideal relationship is one where both parties grow together, but preserve their identities. Excessive dependence also creates shaky ground. When your happiness is tied to someone else, any disruption to the relationship can be devastating. On the other hand, when you build a solid foundation within yourself, you are better prepared to deal with challenges, maintaining your integrity even in difficult times. The Stoics also warn us about the importance of not placing our joy in something we do not completely control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not over external events." Realize this, and you will find strength. In relationships, this means recognizing that you are responsible for your own satisfaction, and that expecting someone else to fill all your gaps is unrealistic and unfair. Therefore, maintaining your independence is not an act of selfishness, but a commitment to your essence. Healthy relationships are made up of whole individuals, not halves trying to complete each other. By investing in your own inner strength, you not only enrich your life, but you also become a more balanced partner capable of building deeper, more authentic connections. Well, we're already more than halfway through the content, and I realize that you still haven't left a like on this video. This is very important so that YouTube continues to promote our content to you, and in this way we will continue to help you. So leave a like on this video, which is for free, right? Continuing compromising core values. A path to self-destruction. When a man compromises his core values to accommodate external expectations, he moves away from his true essence. This sacrifice, often made in the name of temporary harmony, can lead to a profound disconnection with oneself and fragility in one's relationships. Stoicism teaches that integrity, founded on solid principles, is the foundation of a full and meaningful life. Imagine someone who, to avoid conflicts or please, accepts situations that contradict their deepest convictions. Whether by participating in activities that go against his ethics or remaining silent in the face of something he considers unfair, he is betraying not only his values, but also the trust he has built with himself. This incongruity generates guilt, frustration, and eventually, a break with your own identity. The Stoics, led by thinkers like Seneca, emphasized the importance of living in alignment with the virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. For them, giving in to external desires or pressures that violate these principles was equivalent to giving up one's freedom. Seneca wrote, "No wind blows for those who do not know where to go." This phrase illustrates how the lack of a moral guide leaves a man vulnerable to external influences, making him a puppet of circumstances. A practical example would be a person who, fearing losing his partner's affection, constantly accepts situations that make him feel uncomfortable. Maybe he changes opinions or hides aspects of his personality to avoid arguments. While this may seem like an immediate solution, in the long term, these compromises undermine his authenticity and create an environment where he no longer feels comfortable being himself. Stoicism encourages us to face these challenges with courage and honesty. Preserving your values does not mean being inflexible or unable to make concessions, but rather standing firm on what really matters. A man who lives according to his principles inspires respect and confidence, both in himself and in others. This commitment to integrity also strengthens relationships. When you act in a way that is consistent with your values, you send a clear message about who you are and what you expect. This creates a foundation of mutual respect, eliminating the need for masks or pretensions. It is important to remember that compromising core values not only harms the individual, but also affects the quality of the relationship. A partner who demands that you betray your principles is, in effect, asking you to become someone you are not. This creates an imbalance that will inevitably lead to resentment and disagreements. In the end, living according to your values is an act of courage and self-love. As Marcus Aurelius observed, true happiness consists in doing good, acting justly, and speaking the truth. Staying true to who you are not only strengthens your identity, but it also ensures that any connection you build is based on genuine respect and mutual understanding. Ignoring reason for passion. The danger of impulsive decisions. Passion is a powerful force. When well directed, it can be a source of energy and motivation that drives life forward. However, when reason is left aside in the name of emotion, the consequences can be disastrous. Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining control over our passions, ensuring that they do not lead us to impulsive and destructive decisions. True wisdom lies in balancing desire with reflection, emotion with rational thought. Imagine that you fall in love with someone overwhelmingly. The feeling is intense, and the chemistry between you seems perfect. However, as emotions take over, you begin to make hasty decisions, changing habits, abandoning important commitments, putting aside plans that previously seemed non-negotiable. Over time, you realize that passion, however passionate it was, led you to give up fundamental aspects of your life. What seemed like a romantic and inspiring choice actually undermined her autonomy and inner balance. Stoics, such as Seneca and Epictetus, understood that passions, when left unchecked, can cloud judgment. In his view, uncontrolled emotion distorts the perception of reality and prevents the individual from making rational decisions. Seneca, in one of his letters, advises, "Do not let your desires shape your life, but, on the contrary, let your life shape your desires." He knew that when passion prevails, it distorts what really matters, making us act impulsively, without reflecting on the impacts of our choices. It is easy to understand this process. When passion takes over our actions, we feel overcome by an urgent need to please, satisfy, or please another person, often ignoring the consequences of these decisions. For example, in a relationship, we may act only to maintain the emotional connection, sacrificing aspects of our personal life, such as career, health, or friendships, for fear of losing contact with the person we love. Passion makes us get carried away by the circumstances of the moment, forgetting to evaluate the long-term consequences. Stoicism, in turn, invites us to think and act clearly. Reason should not be neglected in favor of temporary feelings. Instead, we must integrate emotions with logic and reflection. It's not about repressing passion, but rather directing it in a constructive way. In his teachings, Marcus Aurelius reminds us that life is governed by reason. The human soul is not given to man to be violated by impulses. He must, instead, be the commander of his own thoughts and emotions. Therefore, passion must be managed by reason, not the other way around. The key to balancing reason and passion is developing self-awareness. When we become more aware of our emotions and can recognize them, without becoming consumed by them, we are able to make more considered decisions. This means being aware that feelings, although natural, can deceive us and lead us to act without adequate reflection. In the context of a relationship, for example, reason helps to evaluate compatibility, sincerity, and intentions, while passion can be the flame that fuels love, without allowing it to blind us. Therefore, instead of being a slave to your emotions, learn to use them wisely. Passion, when controlled by reason, is a powerful force of creation and unity. But when left adrift, without the brakes of reflection and balance, it can be a destructive storm. And as the Stoics taught, true strength comes from living according to reason, aligning our desires with what is truly valuable and important in our lives. Now that we've gone through each of these 6 pitfalls you should avoid in your relationships, it's clear that true freedom comes from keeping your autonomy and integrity intact. Each of these mistakes is a temptation disguised as love, an easy path that, in the long run, will take you away from who you really are and what you really need. Stoicism teaches us that the key to a healthy and true relationship begins with respect for our own freedom and constant care for our personal growth. Remember, if you give in and give up your principles in the name of a relationship, in the end, you are the one who pays the price. Don't lose yourself to please. Don't cancel yourself out to be accepted. Instead, work on being the best version of yourself so that you have something real and strong to offer someone else. As the great Stoic Epictetus said, do not seek for events to happen as you want, but want them to happen as they happen, and your life will be serene. The pain you feel now, the doubt that arises in moments like this, are signs that you are heading in the right direction. It's a reminder that you can choose to do things differently. You can be strong, independent, and at the same time, be a person capable of connecting in a genuine, respectful, and healthy way with others. If you want a solid, lasting, and true relationship, the answer lies in staying true to yourself. Don't negotiate who you are. The solution is in you. And now is the time to put everything we discussed into practice. Remember, your freedom, your value, and your principles are the basis of any worthwhile relationship. So the next time you feel the pressure to lose yourself for someone, look within. Stoicism will guide you, and you will realize that living with purpose is the true key to relating to the world in a powerful and authentic way. Now, tell me, are you ready to live according to these principles and transform your life and relationships forever? If the answer is yes, then you are on the right path. Thank you for watching this far. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue receiving the next content. Until the next video.